Welcome back. Last in class, everybody.
That wasn't my fault.
What's not your fault?
It was my fault, but I missed the play button, all right?
All right. That song is Deck the Halls. And why is it Deck the Halls, Sikora?
Because we watched the greatest movie ever, Deck the Halls.
As always, I'm Mike.
Sikora.
And Tyler.
And our special guest is...
There we go.
Miller High Life.
Tyler, where can they get us on social media?
You can check us up on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Last in Class Podcast. Also can check out our last video where we talked about Elf that I know Sikora and Winnow loved.
I know, I watched it again, actually. Part of
really?
it. Mm-hmm.
And you liked it better this time.
No.
Yeah, you did. Just admit it. It's amazing.
No. Join some discussion boards, but...
All right, so this is obviously Christmas time. Second movie. I chose Elf. This week is Sikora's choice, and he chose
Deck the Halls.
Deck the Halls from 2006. Movie's rated PG. Box office or budget of $51 million. Box office of $47.2 million. Length is about 1 hour, 32 horrible minutes. And a Rotten Tomatoes score of 6%.
And that's why I chose it. That's why I chose it. You guys made me watch Elf. Enjoy this, suckers.
You chose it because you thought you would get to watch it for free, but that's not what turned out to be the truth.
Yeah, but I also wanted to make... I saw how bad it was rated, so I said, you make me watch Elf, I make you watch this.
No, you specifically said, like, your words were like, I don't want to rent anything else. That's
also true. There's two reasons.
I had to sign up for Stars for this, and you had to rent it.
Yeah.
It backfired.
I also had to rent Elf, so, you know.
Yeah, but I could have given it to you to watch.
Well, I'm glad you didn't.
Why? You spent money on it. You made that movie profit.
Whatever.
All right. This movie is directed by John Whitesell. He directed some Girl Meets World, Cosby, Big Mama's House 2 and 3 maybe. I don't know.
Great.
And then we have character Steve Finch, played by Matthew Broderick. He's
Bueller.
Yeah. Ferris Bueller, obviously everyone knows him from that. Godzilla 98, the movie Glory, it's one of my favorite war movies. Tons of stuff. Most people know Matthew
Ferris
Broderick.
Bueller. That's it.
And we're just going to go down the family first, so this is why we're not doing Danny yet. His wife is Kelly Finch, played by Kristen Davis. Everyone, famous from Sex and the City. They have 2 kids, Madison Finch, played by Aaliyah
Shawkat.
There you go. Thank you very much. From a show called Search Party and...
The best show ever, Arrested Development.
Still haven't watched it. It's Sikora's favorite show.
Yeah,
it's one of them. Oh, it's great.
Really?
First 3 seasons. Fantastic.
Then the son, Carter Finch, played by Dylan Blue. He's not really in much, so I didn't write anything down. And then we got next door neighbor, Buddy Hall, played by Danny DeVito. Who doesn't know Danny DeVito? Twins, Matilda, Sikora?
It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
There you go. There's the other
Batman
there's the other
Returns.
One. Batman, yeah, the list can go on and on.
Throw
and
Mama
on.
from the Train.
Big Fish.
Junior.
We're not talking about Junior.
Okay, but he's in it.
All right, so then his wife, Tia Hall, played by Kristen Chenoweth.
Yes.
She was in Glee.
She's in a bunch of stuff, too.
Bunch of stuff. Lots of little roles in movies, lots of TV, lots of voice work. And then they have twin daughters, Ashley Hall and Emily Hall, played by Kelly Aldridge and Sabrina Aldridge. They're in like 2 other things. They're not in anything, so...
I think they're just like models, basically, right?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Identical twins. Mayor Young, played by Sean O'Brien. He's from The Middle, Phenomenon. Tons of stuff, but nothing like really majorly sticks out. And I guess the only other real people to talk about would be Fred Armisen, who plays Gustav.
Yeah, the German, yeah.
Yeah, SNL, Late Night with Seth Meyers.
Last Man on Earth.
Yeah, lots of little comedy stuff there.
You're forgetting one person on this list. It's another reference to Harold and Kumar.
I wrote that in my notes.
Cal Penn.
We have the other half of Harold and Kumar making another. This one's a cameo, just like the other one was.
Yep. He actually talks.
Yeah, he gets to talk.
Yeah.
Do you even know who Cal Penn is?
No.
You'll know him because
if I see a picture, probably, but
yeah,
you'll know him if you see him.
Okay.
And then Gerda, which is Fred Emerson's wife, I assume.
Yeah.
Played by Gillian Vigman. She was in like The Hangover and mostly TV projects.
Okay, I wonder if that's Gillian or Jillian. I don't know. That's hard.
Gillian.
Yeah, we all know that I can't pronounce names properly, and I didn't look it up beforehand because I didn't have time. So, all right. So basically, just a quick run synopsis of this movie is Matthew Broderick's character is eye doctor.
Yeah, optometrist.
Yeah, so he's like he's the Christmas man in town.
Mr. Christmas.
Yeah, he's got a really nice house. He's got a nice family, all that stuff. And Danny DeVito's character moves in next door.
In the middle of the
loud,
night.
obnoxious, and they basically hate each other right off the bat. And they have like a little rivalry because Danny DeVito wants his house to be seen from space. And yeah, Matthew Broderick just hates all of it because he's so uptight.
Yes.
And they fight, and typical,
Yeah, it's like if you've seen that episode with Home Improvement where Tim Allen battles a neighbor, it's that episode just stretched out to 90.
Right, but they never even showed that neighbor in that episode.
Yeah.
Right? Like it was just like
so. Yeah, he just yells at him.
Yeah, it's just
falls off the roof.
It's a good episode actually.
Yeah.
It's good when it comes to a TV sitcom.
Right.
So it's where do you want to start, you guys?
I don't know. Let's just go and then just see where it takes us.
Yeah.
So I start us off, Sikora.
All right. Well,
what's the first thing you want to talk about? What's the first scene that sticks out to you?
the first scene that sticks out to me is when Matthew Broderick is crossing the street after he gets done giving that lady glasses, and he goes and talks to them about like decorating the Christmas tree. He's like, "Not too tacky, gentlemen." And then that one guy's like, "I can keep a secret. I can keep a secret." He's like, "The sheriff's a cross-dresser." Right. Like, just immediately, just like, oh, that's how this movie
immediately just calls somebody out.
Yeah, but like, I didn't know that this movie was gonna go like that.
Right.
I thought it was gonna be like cheesy. I was like, oh, there's some actually like adult themes in here.
Yeah, and it's still PG, so it's almost like not good enough for kids. It wouldn't entertain kids, but it's also not funny enough to carry an adult audience.
You're right. Yeah, not like a hardcore adult audience.
I was gonna talk about this later, but since you just brought up the whole cross-dressing thing. How much of a secret is this? Because in the first scene we see with the sheriff in it, he's like scratching his bra strap, and he like bends over and he's wearing a pink thong.
Yeah.
Like, it can't be that much of a secret then.
And then he makes a comment later in the film. It's like, "You're off in my panties."
Oh, I didn't
like,
catch that. That's funny.
Like, who would even care anyways? But
yeah, and then like the thing that caught me off guard was like, so Matthew Broderick's character is like all about Christmas, and his wife and family knows this, but his wife's like making a big deal about it when they're like going to bed, and she's just like, "Why are you always like this?" She's like, "You married this guy. What do you mean? Why is he always like this? Like this has been your tradition for like one kid's 10, the other daughter's 15. Like you should know."
But she also like turns on a dime because she's like mad, and then he's like, "No," or I can't remember this scene, but then she's like, "You're right."
Yeah.
It's like, come on, stand up for yourself.
Yeah.
Don't let this guy, Matthew Broderick characters this whole movie is not a nice person. Neither's Danny DeVito's character.
Right.
Both of them are kind of a-holes.
Yeah.
Which is why this movie, the biggest problem I have with this movie is you can't get behind either of these.
I got behind Danny DeVito.
Just because he's Danny DeVito.
Yeah.
How about let's say Matthew Broderick's character is supposed to be the Christmas guy. He doesn't seem to like Christmas.
Yeah.
Besides a couple little scenes of him like planning stuff out, every Christmas thing in it pisses him off, kind of.
Yeah, because it's not done his way. He's just like an uptight, like narcissist. Like it's got to be done this way.
Yeah, well, even the outside of his house isn't really decorated.
No, not at all. And then
you have these annoying neighbors come by, and the first scene with Danny DeVito where
immediately
he's trying to steal his paper.
Yeah,
and he does. He walks away with the paper and Matthew Broderick's coffee.
I was like, okay, like he's not gonna like catch it or anything.
I know.
He just walked back in the house. I'm like, dude, get your coffee.
Yeah, and Danny DeVito's wife is like drinking as well. It's like, ooh, that's
good.
And another adult theme right there.
Yep.
They talk about
Matthew
Broderick's little wang being out.
Yeah,
the quote was, "Looks like we got a visitor."
Yeah,
that one was actually pretty funny.
I was just like, oh, all right.
It didn't make me smile. It's only making me chuckle right now because of you guys.
Yeah,
it was funny.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see.
I liked it.
Also, when he's moving in the night before, he drops like one light bulb, so immediately okay, that's gonna play into the movie somewhat. So then after he gets like depressed, he steps on it.
Yeah.
And that's where he gets the idea. Yeah. Oh, I stepped on a Christmas light. I'm going to make my house be bright so it can be seen from space because his twin daughters randomly were like, "Dad, come check this out. You can see houses from space." Like, no, they wouldn't be acting like this.
Right.
Yeah.
Like some little ripoff of like Google Maps or whatever, Google Earth.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how it came from like that point to that point at all.
Well, it was super weird too. Like that he's like a successful but also unsuccessful car salesman.
Yeah.
Like, he's
Yeah.
he's very good at what he does, but then he's also very terrible at what he does.
Yeah.
Which brings me to one of my. I have like I think 2 scenes that I actually liked in this movie, and the first one was the car salesman scene, where he's like, it's his first day on the job,
Yeah.
and the 3 guys like are being smartasses and like, I bet you can't sell to that guy out there who's like kicking the tire. He's like, and they put like $1,000 each on it.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, watch this. And he like goes out there, and they're like laughing, and then he comes back in, and he's like, money on my desk or whatever. I don't take checks or whatever.
Yeah.
And then the guy comes in, and
I like
he's-
this scene.
he's the owner of the car,
dealership.
yeah,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
dealership, and he's like, I just bought one of my own cars, and
Yeah.
worst off, I paid sticker price,
Yeah.
which to me actually is the quote of the movie. I'll just say it right now because
Coming out early with the quote of the movie.
I don't have many quotes to say about this movie. There's nothing really redeemable. That's the most entertaining one. That was probably my favorite scene in the movie.
That scene was good though.
I liked when the little brother meets Danny DeVito's wife, and he's just staring
Can
at
we
her.
just live here?
Yeah.
Well, like her boob cleavage is just out, and there's like a naked painting of her, and,
Yeah.
and immediately like because they come over to like say hi and
Yeah.
drop something off, and she's like bent over trying to hang something on the wall. She's like, "Come help me push,"
Right.
and she's just like, immediately you're pushing a stranger's butt up. Like,
Yep. She's like all about it.
can I live here? So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't. It was something that he said that, but I like that kid. He was funny.
Yeah, he was good in the movie.
yeah. I would assume he would have been in a lot more stuff, but he really hasn't been.
That's too bad. This was his 15 minutes of fame.
And it was a very dark 15 minutes of fame because it was in this movie.
It wasn't very dark. They had a bunch of lights.
A lot of lights.
Yeah, you could see it from space.
The other main thing they talk about is Matthew Broderick's wife, Kelly. She like makes cookbooks, so it kind of just runs throughout the whole entire film.
Yeah.
That she's like always trying recipes, and she basically copies other people's
And
stuff,
just does a little
and
twist
just
to it. or
twists it and changes it and stuff like that. But no one, publishes them.
Right.
It's kind of a running theme because it gets brought up.
Yeah.
It comes to fruition in the end.
It comes to fruition, which will take us to my other scene that I like.
Yep.
One scene I want to talk about is like right when they're getting ready to go to school. The Matthew Broderick's wife was like, "I'll just drive him to school or whatever." And the Tia, Danny DeVito's wife, was like, "Sure, you can go ahead." They're all dressed. They're leaving the house. Did you see the fur boots that the twins were wearing?
Yes, I
Yeah.
did.
I was like, "What is this? Why?"
Those are very real because my sister wears boots that are big and fluffy and white like that.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, Tyler, that was the style back then.
Yeah, my sister I think still has them, still wears them.
That's funny.
Anything white and puffy like that.
It just caught me off guard. I did not expect that, and especially because there's twins, so there's 2 pairs of them, and then they just point out to you.
Oh yeah, this scene where Matthew Broderick wants to get everyone in Christmas sweaters.
Oh yeah.
I like the scene that followed that. That was good.
What scene?
So-
followed it?
Danny DeVito duct tapes
So funny.
antlers horses
Right.
to make them look like reindeer, and then Matthew Broderick gets his son out of the sleigh, and then it goes on a wild
Yeah.
sleigh ride.
So funny. you
Terrible
guys,
CGI.
like,
No, I'm not.
I
that's,
couldn't stop.
hey, that's about as
laughing.
good as the sleigh ride in Elf.
I was like, oh wow.
Yeah,
This is
no, I'm
amazing.
talking about the next scene when he collapses into the water and he wakes up. And he's in this sleeping bag,
Yeah.
and he's just like, "What's going on?" And Danny DeVito's just like, "He's like, where are my clothes?" He's like, "They were soaked, bro." And then he's just like rubbing him. He's like, "You gotta have body heat." And then the camera pans over, and Danny DeVito's also naked. He's like, "Why are you have no clothes?" He's like, "Cause you gotta do body heat." Like, I've done this a couple times before.
Yeah.
The problem with that scene is it was in the trailer though.
Well,
How about when they fall in the ice and it was like horrible CGI?
oh yeah, the whole sleigh ride was bad CGI.
Yeah. It was
Like you could tell, like they just shot like Matthew Broderick just leaned to the left, and then it's like, we'll fix this. And then like the worst part is like there's a ice fishing like thing like right where he like right where the sled goes through, and like that's fine. Like there's a like ice fishing like
Yeah.
cabin or whatever, but it's totally fine. And I looked up online that apparently that was apparently that would weigh remotely the same amount as the sleigh.
Yeah, the sleigh, it's all spread out. That's why it's a sleigh. It's made to be like
Yeah.
weight distributed.
So
I mean, I don't really care. I'm not gonna get technical. It
I am.
it should have looked better. That's my problem. I don't
Yeah.
care they went through the ice. It should have looked better.
yeah, for $51 million.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Way too much for like a Christmas movie like this.
Yeah. Well, Danny DeVito probably took a good chunk of that.
Well, probably Matthew Broderick too. I
Yeah.
would say he probably got more actually.
Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah. So the Danny DeVito scene, it's not bad, but it was given away in the trailer. Like the high points of this movie were already in the trailer,
Yeah.
and then we go after that. We have the tree scene.
Yeah.
Is that one of the next ones?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
Where Matthew Broderick, goes to get the family tree with the family, and he's got like the next 4 or 5 years lined up.
He has his like own property of building or planting trees.
Yeah, like a certain type of tree, and it's
Yeah.
like, little bigger until it's like this year, and they bring Danny DeVito's family over with them because they're like trying to be friends, but I really don't think like, hey, let's go get a Christmas tree together would happen, but they do, and Danny DeVito knocks gasoline over.
And it pours out like gasoline doesn't pour out.
Yeah, it pours out like it doesn't pour out, and then it goes in the snow, which
Well, that's what I'm talking about. Like it just goes into the snow like how gasoline wouldn't like go through snow. Just like starts pooling and just running.
right. And he uses an axe to cut down the tree, so
Yep.
one hits like the little metal piece, and all the trees just set on fire.
Yep, all
That's
that.
not how it works. Like trees are like, they're moist. They don't just like go up like that.
Yeah.
In this movie they do because it happens again.
Yeah, it happens later, but even so, Matthew Broderick, he can't have a different kind of tree, so they go home with like this little tree. I don't understand why. Just
He's Mr. Christmas. He needs it.
yeah, he can get a different tree though.
Yeah.
can't.
I wouldn't have got that.
I don't
little
believe that
tree.
he's Mr. Christmas at all. He's not happy about Christmas at any point in this movie, really. Just except for when he brings the calendar out.
Yeah.
Other than that, like he's trying to create memories with his family.
I think it's just the fact that Danny DeVito's character was just always, higher up on him, and he wanted to be Mr. Christmas.
Yeah, but for no reason, because he stepped
Yeah.
on a light bulb. Because he's a really good salesman, but that's not good enough for him.
I mean, he
Yeah.
told Danny DeVito he could have Halloween.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
love Halloween. How come no one else in the city? Someone has like 4th of July, someone has Easter,
Yeah.
but no one has Halloween. Are you kidding me?
I think he said something weird like Flag Day too or something. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, all right.
Maybe Arbor Day?
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
even know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I watched this movie like almost 2 times because I was just like trying to find things to talk about.
Yeah.
So, what?
No, nothing. Go ahead.
So Danny DeVito's, he's going to make his house glow from space or be seen from space with all the lights. So he just starts buying everything, even though they just moved to this town. He just got a job as a car salesman. And there's a reference in there that they're in debt a lot. I have how does he afford all this stuff?
Because he keeps spending money on Christmas shit.
He
Using that credit card.
He goes to a store and literally buys all the lights and tells them to order more. That's where he got the sleigh.
Yep. And he solders them all together.
Another side note that they do at the beginning is his wife has this really expensive vase. It's like a family heirloom, and she mentions it's like worth more than the whole entire house. That will play into later.
And almost got broken immediately
Yeah, almost. If it's so important, she leaves it on this like
on this flimsy table.
It
Yeah,
should be in
they-
like some case or something.
Right.
So it's protected.
No, just right behind me where I'm about to hang this thing and be unbalanced and uncoordinated.
Yeah.
So, I mean, both these people are really negative. Danny DeVito, Matthew Broderick, at no point are they likable from the get-go.
I like Danny DeVito from the get-go.
That is because you're biased. I love Danny DeVito, and you are and I know you do, and you're just letting that.
Yeah, and that's okay.
That's not how you judge it, though.
That's how I'm judging it.
I liked each of their characters in different ways, but yeah, they're both assholes.
How about the scene that's on TV right now? All right, so everyone starts coming to see the light show from the Danny DeVito's house, and everyone's like parking, and there's 2 RVs parked by Matthew Broderick's, and it's blocking his way to get his car out. So
And one has a trailer hitch on the back.
yeah, so he asks them like to move, and they're like, "What? You're not a guy? You can't back out of that, or whatever." He's like drinking a beer too, just like out in the street with everybody, just drunk. It's like, "I'll wave you on, wave you on," and Matthew Broderick is like, "Yes." First off, this character would not. He would freak out on them. He would make them move.
Yeah.
Right.
So obviously, it's just done for comedy, which would be okay if it was more believable, but it's not. But I know you guys really like this scene.
I thought this was really funny.
Yeah.
All right,
Drunk guy's good.
Yeah,
He's
he's
just like, I'll be your eyes. And then he immediately just turns around
right.
like a drunk guy would.
I already knew this wasn't going to go well.
Right.
Yeah, everyone does because there's clearly not enough room because there's also a hook hanging off the truck or whatever RV,
Yeah, that's weird too.
and it like rips off the doors perfectly somehow.
Yep. Clean.
And then he does like his little scream thing in the car.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. Yeah.
It's so weird.
It's like, are you even mad? Like, he doesn't, like, that's the thing about his character. Like, he's mad, but I don't buy it throughout the entire film. Like, he's like nonchalant mad. Like, man.
He's kind of just like a rich guy who just complains about the little things and let the little things affect him. Like with Tyler, I think you said earlier, just because it's not going his way.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Because it wasn't going his way. It has to always be his way. And if somebody's in the way, yeah.
Yeah. But, I mean, there is one thing in this movie, like, when he goes to complain about the police, about Danny DeVito's lights being on, like, all night, and there's nothing we can do. Just like, yeah, there is. Like, you can't be blasting music till 4 a.m. and like, having your lights on. Like, you're not allowed to do that. Like, the police will come and shut you down or give you a citation.
Yeah, the music 100%.
Right.
The lights, if it was as bright as it is, probably.
Yeah.
Even if not, they're gonna live in a really nice neighborhood. He's a doctor. Like,
right.
It's the whatever, community
Homeowners Association.
They're gonna shut that down if you get complaints like that.
Right.
And I'm assuming Matthew Broderick characters would probably be on that association.
Right. And, it wouldn't just be Matthew Broderick character being affected by it. Like, all the other houses would be affected by it.
Right. The only thing is there's not too many houses close, it looks like.
Yeah, it was
They
just
really
like
only show 2. They don't really show
and
any
it was like
other
down the
houses.
street there'd be a couple,
Yeah.
but yeah, like on that block area it's just them two. But I just like how when he was like announcing that it was gonna go on till like 4 a.m. then they show Matthew Broderick and his wife in bed, and it's only shining at his face.
Yeah, he's got the windows blocked out, but he's allowed like this one little circle. It's like
It's just blocking his face, and
no,
then it's
just go move stuff.
Right.
he's like, I can't do this anymore.
Like, you got to have like an extra sheet in the house. Just
I do like when it hits 4 o'clock. Danny DeVito's character like unplugs it or whatever and says "Good night, Steve" or something like that. Like,
because he's got the LEDs on his roof, and it's just like him talking.
Because he only knows that he would be paying attention at 4 a.m.
Right. It's just all big spite movie, giant spite movie.
How about the random time where Steve decides he's gonna go like unplug all the lights or whatever, and he happens to have like a secret agent, like complete black outfit with like all these pockets and he's being all sneaky, right? He like goes over there and he tries to unplug it. His kid comes out and like he lets him climb a telephone pole. Steve's character would not let his kid climb a telephone pole, so he could like code name or spy. And then he goes over there. And
SpongeBob and SquarePants.
Yeah.
and he like jumps in with like the camel because Danny DeVito's character has all these live animals for like a manger scene, and I think he does. Is this when he throws the snowball in the thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, he like throws the snowball in the thing,
the
and then
fuse
he like
box.
crosses back over the street to celebrate that he's done it. But he's supposed to be secretive, right? He just stands there for like the next 10 minutes,
Yeah.
talking openly with his wife
I would
about
just
it.
been
Where
like, we could talk in the house. Like, let's just
Right.
leave right now.
where everybody can see. So why even put the outfit on if you clearly aren't trying to be secretive?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the other incident too, like when he's accusing Danny DeVito of stealing power from his house.
Yeah.
And like Danny DeVito's like running to get the extension cord, and he just miraculously trips and falls into a snowbank, and Matthew Broderick can't see him. But then like later on in the movie, he's just like, "Aha! I knew you were stealing." Like, what, you didn't go outside and like check your like outlet?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
if you were that like obsessed, like, wouldn't that be the first thing you did?
Yeah, because Danny DeVito plugs his power source into Matthew Broderick's house.
Because he was complaining that his power was going out.
Yeah,
so
but
he
his
just-
power was surging, and he's like,
Yeah.
I know he's doing something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he doesn't check anything.
Yeah.
It's like, I'll give it back. I was gonna give it back to you after the holidays. This extension cord runs both ways.
Yeah. Oh, here it is right
Yeah,
there.
here's your scene, secret agent man.
Look, and how is he walking like that?
Yeah, he's walking like a 1960s cat burglar. Like, why would you? Like, first of all, wouldn't you want to wear white since you're in the snow?
Yeah.
Would make sense, yeah. But
It doesn't even, at this point, everything's lit up anyways.
That's true.
Like, and he's going like right on in the front. There's so many more easy, sneaky ways to do this.
Right. Like, use the side of the house. Pull a Michael Myers. Stand in front of the house and then just disappear.
Sorry, are you talking about Michael Myers or are you talking about what's his name? Cody or
Corey.
Both.
Corey?
Both. They both did it.
Yeah, it's
But
Corey.
I know
it's
Corey
now.
that pissed you off.
Yeah, Corey's got those powers now.
Well, Corey's dead.
Well, so is Michael Myers. So.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
One scene that I did like though is when Matthew Broderick's character and his family are getting ready to do caroling, and
Yep.
next thing you know, all the fans of the town or whatever are going to Danny DeVito's house to watch the light celebration thing or whatever, and he was announcing that it's gonna go on till like 4 a.m. or something, and Matthew Broderick's character goes, Jesus, and then everybody looks at him, and then he just starts caroling after that. That one made me laugh. I like that scene. It was so funny.
You're always like, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know what he was singing after, but. And then at some point, since Steve's character gets really angry at Dan DeVito because all the stuff is happening to him. He's like stealing the Christmas. Dan DeVito's a new Christmas guy, so he like goes to the back alley, and like meets up with somebody who's like, "You got the the bangs or something." I don't even remember what he said.
Yeah.
Yeah, something. It makes you think he's talking about guns.
Yeah, like you think he's talking about something like that, and he opens up the trunk and it's just fireworks. Which I don't even know what state this is supposed to take place in, but they're
Massachusetts.
probably Massachusetts.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're legal there or not, but either way.
Don't let the reindeer pajamas fool you, man.
So then he's like telling him like, I have this neighbor and I'm gonna shoot fireworks at his house until he has a heart attack and dies or something like that.
It's like right on,
And then-
right on.
Yeah, then the guy gets excited and he's like, "Oh, I got something for you," and he like brings this like really big one.
Yeah, it
And
basically looks like an atomic bomb.
Yeah.
Yeah. At this point, Dan DeVito's character, his wife and girls have like gone to a hotel because they're both the wives and the kids are like fed up with their dads at this point because they're like, just be friends. Like they're all getting along. They have no problem.
They're just fighting back and forth, and they don't.
Right.
Like it.
So Steve's character has all these fireworks lined up very like horribly on his roof, and he's like got a road flare.
Yeah,
That's the best way to light them. He's got one road flare that's just lit the whole time, and he's shooting them at the house. He's like, yeah, celebrating. And after only like 2, he like falls and slips, and of course drops it into like the box of fireworks, and they all, start firing
Start
off.
going
And the
off.
big one,
Has
somehow
an
He had
extremely long fuse.
Yeah.
yeah, a really long fuse, and it shoots up a little bit and then goes right down the chimney, and it like bounces around the house in a very cartoony way. I mean, yes, it's like set the tree on fire and the fire department had to come, but no, that house would be gone. Like,
Yeah.
But this scene also like made me mad too. Like, or not mad, but just like doesn't make sense because like, so Danny DeVito is getting back at Matthew Broderick because like he's like, I'll be a nice guy, so he buys him a car, drops it off because his other car got ruined, and then the main city's Christmas tree is cut down in the heart of the city, and he also got Matthew Broderick a Christmas tree. And Matthew Broderick can't piece together, even though he's Mr. Christmas, isn't in charge of this, that like
Right.
it's the same tree.
Right.
He's just like, no, it couldn't be.
With the Marilyn, it has no angel on top. It's got Marilyn Monroe,
Right.
and he knows it,
Yeah.
and he doesn't figure it out until after, like when the tree burns down.
Yeah.
He should know just by the decorations on it.
Right. So
yeah, exactly.
yeah. So since he had the small tree, Danny got him the big tree, but he just cut it down, and he's like, "Don't tell anyone. Don't tell anyone." When he finally does it, he gives him a car since the car got destroyed, but then Matthew Broderick goes to work, I think,
Yep.
and his
Yeah.
like assistant is just like, "You have to pay for the car. You're gonna get arrested." It's
Yep.
like, what? What's going on? Because Danny DeVito just basically sold him a car without telling him,
Yeah.
and like
Forged his signature.
Yep.
But to go back to the tree that you were just talking about, here's one of the things that drives me nuts in this movie. One of the first scenes we see of Steve's character after he leaves work at the beginning is him passing these like 2 or 3 guys, including the mayor, and they're decorating this tree, right? About every 10 minutes in this movie, someone's walking past these people and they're still decorating the tree.
Yeah.
Movie takes place over like a month.
Hey, they're city workers, man.
And
They're taking their time.
It's one tree that's not even that big, and
trying to make it pitch perfect.
They are decorating. These are like the worst city workers ever.
I mean, it also was the fact like that when they were first doing it in the first scene, they were like tossing ornaments onto the tree. I don't know if you guys saw that. I was just like, "What are you doing? Hang it!"
And Matthew's like, "Don't put too many lights on. It's gaudy. You're the Christmas guy. Decorate, man."
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, and then Danny DeVito and Matthew Broderick start getting in little competitions. Like, I like this scene here where he's throwing snowballs at the Nutcrackers, and then
I wanted to do that.
Matthew Broderick, he's like, "I'll give it a shot," and he winds up like a MLB pitcher and just blasts the same old lady from the beginning. Like, she goes flying.
If he used to be a pitcher, how come he missed that bat? And there's a big tarp in it. So
yeah, he goes wide.
Yeah,
he goes in the opposite direction. Like, he doesn't throw it straight somehow. Like, let's watch.
Like,
so he's throwing it straight. It appears to just.
Yeah, I don't.
She looks like she got hit with a shotgun.
Yeah,
I will say, I didn't notice this now, but Danny DeVito starts like laughing. He like bends over and he's like cracking up really hard. And this is the lamest part right here, is when they have like the slide with the snow for like little kids. This is like a little thing. It's like 10 feet in the air. And Danny DeVito and Matthew Broderick said, "Oh, this is our next challenge. Who can get down the fastest?"
Right.
The lamest part of the movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a stupid competition. They shouldn't have done this.
They should have done something else.
No, this should have been edited out because Danny DeVito cheats.
Yeah, he went wait. He said go, and Matthew Broderick apparently can't even operate a sled.
Like, why is there such a long line for that event anyways?
Right.
First off, if these two hate each other, there seems to be quite a bit of events to do in this like little winter wonderland thing the city's doing. Why are they like next to each other the whole entire time? Go to separate sides.
Yeah.
And then the wives, are over it, so they decide to like push them together. Like, no, you guys are working this out. Talk, do whatever.
I don't wanna.
They became besties from like day one.
Yeah.
I was just like, why?
And the kids.
Because some people are just nice. Well, okay, so then they're talking whatever, and they're like watching a Christmas show, and this is the weird part for me. But like this is when they decide, okay, let's bond or whatever, and there's like 3 girls that are dancing. You don't see their faces.
Yeah, he was like, we can't agree on anything.
And they're like, we can agree on this.
Yeah.
And Danny DeVito like makes Matthew Broderick like say things wherever.
Cat calling.
And this is like, he's not been like this throughout the movie, but all of a sudden he's just like, yeah, who's your daddy? And he's like yelling it really loud
in front of like
The
families of the town and stuff are just
whole
watching the
town.
show.
There's no way Steve would be shouting this stuff so loud. And of course they turn around and it's their daughters. And it's like, I'm your daddy. I'm your daddy.
Yeah, and it's just like they didn't tell you like beforehand they were performing in this. Like, you're in charge of this pageant, Matthew Broderick. Like, you're in charge of this whole operation.
Right.
You don't know your own 2 daughters and the neighbor girl are in this performing a song. Scantily clad.
Right. Which, why is this going on in front of all the townspeople again?
Right. I mean, the dudes seem to be enjoying it. That guy in the green coat, especially.
Well, not as much as Steve's character.
Yeah, that's true.
Who's your daddy?
Oh.
I'm your daddy.
Yeah,
I'm
then
your
they
daddy.
go throw the
And then
holy
they-
water.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
gonna say it. I
face.
like how they just go to the church and they just start putting holy water in their eyes. I was just like, oh my god.
And what's next?
The speed
The
skating.
speed skating where Dane DeVito dons a Brendan Shanahan jersey.
Yeah, Detroit represents.
I think that's a callback to Ferris Bueller. Since
Yeah,
he was
it
wearing
was
a
Gordie Howe.
Yeah.
That makes
Number
sense.
9, and this is number 19. I didn't
Number
really think about
14.
that.
I was trying to look up what it was about.
What?
But
Oh,
Shanahan
yeah.
was
Yeah,
14.
sorry. Shannon. I know that.
Eiserman was 19.
Yeah, I know. I screwed up.
Just saying.
How dare I? So for this scene, I know Matthew Broderick, he trained for like 2 months or something like that with the actual speed skater for this little scene.
Doesn't even make any sense. It's like a not even 5-minute scene.
Right. How about this? Like, we all work in or formerly or currently work in ice arena. There's no way that this town would be able to set up this ice rink on the street like this in like a day or two's time
yeah.
and have it be usable to skate on. That's
Right.
not going to happen.
No.
This is like Main Street.
Right. First of all, you'd have to make sure like the temperature was good enough for it.
Yeah, there's no way. It's bright outside.
Right.
With the sun like that.
It would melt.
Yeah.
Easily.
I know it's just a little thing, but it really grinds my gears.
Yeah.
Especially with a movie like this, you have to look at it at a different way too.
How about the pointless, useless mayor that just fell down in this competition?
Yeah, and just like trips everybody up. Like if you suck at skating, just don't even participate.
Yeah.
And like I don't understand why Matthew Broderick had to train like in speed skating. Like just use a stunt double.
Just
Like, it's-
pretend,
Yeah,
you know?
you CGI'd the sled. You could CGI this too.
I assume like the real stuff, like he just jumped something. That wasn't him anyways. So how long? It wouldn't take long just to get it down.
Yeah.
What are you smiling over there for, Tyler?
Ketis.
Yeah, he's
I was just about to bark at him.
he's chomping at me.
Yeah.
Come on.
So then after this, Danny DeVito wins because, you know, there's like a crash and everything. And then we got like Steve's character, like, how does it feel to be invisible? Something really mean. Says in front of the whole town. Danny DeVito's character, of course, you know, like pouts and like walks away.
Wait, who wins this?
Danny
Danny.
DeVito,
Oh yeah.
which is unreal.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because he falls right at the end. He falls 6 inches from the finish line and still can't.
He just lays there and stretches out instead of actually like trying to
Just-
pass the
and it's
line.
Like I lost, and Danny DeVito's like a good like 10, 15 feet behind him.
Yeah.
And then after this, I think we find out that Buddy lost his job.
Yeah.
I think it's like, yeah. And we find this out because he pawned his wife's vase to get more money to buy more decorations. And that's when I think his wife and kids leave, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he only cares about this stupid light in the house.
Competition thing.
Yeah,
with
the competition. Yeah, so they leave. And the whole point of doing this is so he can be like remembered and stuff and for his family. And now they're gone.
Yep. And here's Cal Penn. Oh,
Yes.
there he is, Tyler. You know him?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
He's in a lot of recent stuff too.
Yeah.
Well, he was working for the Obama administration at one point.
Oh,
Yep.
really?
Yeah, he left. He was on the show House as like a main character, and then one day the character just killed himself, and we're like, "What the heck happened?" And it was announced that he like was leaving Hollywood for a while to be in the Biden administration.
Oh, okay. That's about all I wrote. After this, I kind of just watched, and then I wrote stuff down if it catch me. But
Well,
Well, this is nearing the end.
Kelly and the kids leave too, which are Matthew Broderick's wife and kids. They leave too, and they join Buddy's family at the hotel, and the two just. I think that's when they finally start talking, right?
yeah,
That's when we find out that like Buddy wasn't even home when Steve was shooting fireworks at the house. And that's also when we find out that Buddy's been stealing electricity. Steve finds out. I think they just at that point they just decide they want to get their families back. And like how do they do it?
yeah, they just realize how miserable like their life is without their families, and they should just put this to the side and just come together and just have peace. Because I know they try and restart their relationship early on in the movie, but then like Matthew Broderick was just like, we don't have to shake. It was being sarcastic.
Right.
Why don't you give me a signal if you're gonna start talking weird?
Yeah.
It was pretty funny, but not too funny because I didn't laugh.
I went haha.
All right, so like to get them back, they decide they're gonna take like all Buddy's lights and they make like a trail all the way to the hotel, set up all these lights outside the door and outside the hotel and like this whole tunnel thing. How the hell do these family, like these wives and kids, not notice any of this? And it's totally, I know it's just a movie, but it's really unrealistic to hook up all those lights. Like you can't hook up more than like 8, 10 or something like that.
How did they know that they're at that hotel too? In that room?
There's a reference that Danny DeVito was like, the night that Steve was shooting fireworks, he was like, I was outside the hotel room throwing rocks at the window
Oh,
all
yeah,
night
that's
trying to
right.
get their attention, trying to get them to talk to me.
Yeah.
All right, which will lead eventually because they follow the trail, and it leads to like the other scene I actually really liked, which was the two wives had been working on the cookbook together, and so like the trail leads back to the house, and Steve and Buddy had like made a Christmas dinner, and they
Based it off of
they used the cookbook, so everything's from the cookbook. I like that idea a lot, actually.
Yeah. I don't remember the exact quote they use or whatever, but they're like basically kind of like what's the word I'm looking for? Like they kind of attacked them on their dinner, but then they realized that it was actually the food that they made in the cookbook. So then they were like, "Oh,
Yeah,
that's
especially when they
nice."
see that squash that's in shape of like a Rudolph's head.
Yeah,
It's actually cute.
Yes, wholesome family moment. And then they say like, well, we didn't do this because we didn't have this ingredient or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
And then when they're sitting down, Buddy shows his wife, "Oh, I got the vase back for you. We're gonna be in credit card debt for like the rest of our lives." They sit down and eat, and Buddy's like, "Oh, I'm not trying to make my house bread anymore." And then all these people show up, and Steve's character is like, "Are you sure?" Type,
yeah.
because all these people aren't here to see the house; they're here to bring lights so they can.
Because
make
all
it.
the town realized that the lights weren't on his house, and they were like, and the news people are coming in like 20 minutes, so we have to. The
Right.
town bought all these lights and then decided to redecorate his house.
Which, if anybody out there has put lights on their house, 20 minutes is not even close enough to even untangle all the lights.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, they just decorated a whole city in like an hour.
Yeah, I guess they are pros.
Basically.
Yeah,
There might as well be elves.
right.
Huh.
Might as well.
Yeah, so they decorate it, and bam, they shoot bright enough. Then Cal Penn's like, "Yeah, it's showing." He's got an accent. Was he English in this one? I don't
Yeah,
even
he's
know.
British. I think it's showing.
Not the best accent, but it's funny because it's coming from him.
Yeah, the
And
fire
that's-
department shows up. Everybody's here.
That's basically the movie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the first they light it up with cell phones.
Oh yeah, because it wasn't plugged in the whole or all the way, so they decided to put on their flashlights on their phones and start caroling and singing Christmas bells.
It's not even flashlights. It's just like the screen.
The screen.
They have flashlights. This
It
is
is
2006.
funny.
These
Yeah.
are flip phones.
All flip
and-
phones, you could just hear them flip, 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 flip.
I know. The thing is, when this movie came out, those were probably like the latest phones, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the little kid sees that it's not plugged in all the way.
Yeah, pushes it down because no one checks electrical things in this thing. The pros at decorating stuff, but
Right.
can't check if it's plugged in. There was one quote, I guess. Yeah, this is the real quote of the movie. Take back what I said. The other one was funny. I forgot that there was one real quote in this movie, and that is like when his wife, Steve's wife, is like mad at him and about to leave. They're having like a conversation about like making traditions and stuff like that, and she said, "You don't, sorry, you just don't get it. Christmas traditions are born in those little chocolate milk and French fry moments, and you can't control it." I guess that's the quote of the movie. It was the deepest part, I guess.
Yeah. Don't really have a quote of the movie, but going into this, I know this movie wasn't going to be good. I don't really remember where the quote was at in the movie, somewhere towards the beginning, but I think it was something with either Danny DeVito putting the lights on his tree or something, and he said, "How bad could it be?" So I just took that as like a whole movie itself, it not being good and didn't do good. Thought it was funny.
Yeah, it's not a great movie, you guys.
Yeah.
All right, so there's not really too many facts and trivia about this movie, but we'll list them off. Mostly what I read up was apparently, I don't know for facts it wasn't there, but the main cast, like Danny DeVito, Matthew Broderick, and the two wives, they didn't really care. They didn't like this movie. They apparently Danny DeVito would like fly in and do his lines and stuff and like get out of there.
Just fly out.
Yeah, because he didn't want to talk to people on the set. Matthew Broderick apparently I don't know if he said this or someone just said thought it felt like this, but Matthew Broderick was like, "Yeah, I've hit this is bottom for my career" or something like that. I don't know word for word. That's
Yeah.
just another little side note is Matthew Broderick's wife Kelly Finch is played by Kristen Davis from Sex and the City.
Yep.
Everyone should know Matthew Broderick's wife,
Sarah
Sarah
Jessica
Jessica
Parker.
Parker from Sex and the City.
Yep.
So she didn't have to, but she like emailed Sarah.
Yeah, she wanted
And,
to get her approval.
Yeah,
that it was okay to
approval.
take the role for
Yeah.
it.
and they like cut out. They, I think, took a kissing scene out of the script because they were like it was too much, and would take it out of the PG territory and just made it a little weird like that.
Yeah, makes sense.
Did you have anything that was?
I have a couple other ones. The lights in Danny DeVito's house was not actually Christmas lights. It was LED lights. Used up 14,300 LED nodes worth of over 7,000 watts of energy. So, yeah. Alternate titles for this movie was supposed to be All Lit Up or Wreck the Halls.
But they chose Deck the Halls because it's the Hall family. It's the Danny DeVito, Buddy Hall and his family.
Yeah.
Deck the Halls. You guys get it? Sikora.
I get it now.
You get it, Sikora? Yeah, Tyler didn't get it until I told him. So
Play on
clever.
words, it is.
What?
It's play on words. It is.
Oh, I'm chuckling. My belly is just rolling around right now, you guys.
Mine too.
Yeah, that's about all I got. Other stuff was just talking about Sarah Jessica Parker and then Matthew Broderick's studying or training for the speed skating competition.
Yeah, there's not too much about this movie really, so all right, so should we go through the grading process?
Sure. What is the grading process, though?
Just get in and out for you, Tyler. All right, so 0 through 5. 5 is a true classic. 4 is pretty darn good. 3 is middle of the road. 2 is should be better. 1 is it's bad. And 0 is nothing redeemable about this movie. We each give it a rating, then we come up with an average for it. And if it gets a 4 or higher, it's Wall of Fame. If it's a 1.5 or below, it's a Wall of Shame. So far, we have Halloween Ends is the only Wall of Shame. And Wall of Fame, we have The Conjuring and American Beauty. So, who wants to go for Sikora? It's your movie. Your movie choice. What are you giving it?
Giving it a 3. 1 point for Danny DeVito. 1 point for the Detroit Red Wings reference. And 1 point because I liked it better than Elf.
It sickens me that you gave this movie a 3 and you gave
I'll
Elf
give it a
1.
5.
No, you
Oh,
won't.
boy.
No, you won't. I will
Oh, boy.
erase that rating. All right, Tyler, what are you giving it?
I'm giving this a 2. See, this is the Christmas movie round, so you have to look at it as a Christmas movie, and 5 is classic. This is not a classic Christmas movie.
Instant classic Christmas movie.
It is not.
It's an okay movie. There's some funny stuff that I thought was funny, but it's not something that I want to just go back and watch it on a
Right.
Christmas
I
day.
could probably list 40 Christmas movies off the top of my head I would rather watch before this one.
Yeah.
I love Christmas. I love Christmas movies. This, I did not laugh. I did not even really smile during this
So this
movie.
was your Elf.
This is, no, see, like, it's, I'm saying this.
Elf
it's,
sucked.
No, Elf was amazing. But this movie, there's like nothing horribly bad about it, but there's nothing positive about it either. I went back and forth. Do I give it a 0.5? Do I give it a 1? I give Halloween Ends a 0.5, and that movie, there was so much I hated about it.
And everybody knows that Mike is, like, Halloween was his movie, so
Yeah.
this means a lot to him.
There's so many things I hated about this movie, about that movie. There's not so many things I hate about this movie. There's just nothing there to like about this movie. So for that reason, I can't give it a 0.5. I gotta give it a 1. So it gives an average of 6. So this movie gets a 2.
3, 2, 1.
2. It probably shouldn't be a 2. Sikora's horrible grade gave it.
Dude,
I was
I'll give it
surprised you were going to give it a 3.
Yeah, this
I'll
movie.
give it a 4 right now.
This movie should be Wall of Shame, you guys. But
No.
Sikora ruined that.
This movie should not be Wall of Shame.
Yes, it
No.
absolutely should be.
No. I enjoyed it thoroughly more than Elf. I will watch this movie every year.
I will
Oh,
never
boy.
watch this movie again.
Well, tomato, tomato.
And like I said, there's nothing horrible about it. There's just nothing positive at all about it. So, all right. So Tyler, you're third in line for the Christmas movies. What's it gonna be for you?
Jingle All the Way.
Yes, baby.
Love this movie.
Love this movie. Can't wait to do this one.
It's going to be a good one.
I mean, yeah. Come on, Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's our first Arnold movie.
Yeah.
And many more to come after.
Absolutely. We can do a whole round on him.
Who said you could eat my cookies?
So, Tyler, just remind them once again where they can hit us at?
Check us up on YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram at Last in Class Podcast.
All right. As always, I am Mike.
Sikora.
Tyler.
And that was Deck the Halls. Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy Hanukkah. Happy Kwanzaa.
Yeah.
Whatever you celebrate. If you don't celebrate anything, happy that.
Happy that.
Season's greetings. Better movie than Elf.
You are wrong about that.
No.
And this is not Sikora's music, obviously, you guys.
Yeah.
He'll be back to that after the holiday season, I think.
Yeah.